Hey Northwood family, these have been exciting times in the life of our church. And if you've been around the last couple of years, you've seen some of the excitement that we've experienced here on our campus. We continue to grow in all areas of our ministry. You think about Sunday morning and the number of people you see on our campus every Sunday morning, the number of children that come to our church on a regular basis, the number of teenagers and college students. It's really exciting to see just the number of our people in our community that are coming to our church and finding hope in the gospel right here at Northwood, and to see the number of people who are discipled in our church. It's just been really exciting to be a part of this movement of God over these last few years. And here we are in the fall, and what we're continuing to see is just more and more people come to our church. As we have entered into the fall, we've seen some Sundays when we've been over 1,000 people on our campus. Other Sundays it's been around 900, but between 900 and somewhere over 1,000 people are attending our church on a consistent basis every single Sunday. And honestly, we just don't see that growth slowing down. God continues to bring people to our community. You continue to invite friends to be with us, and so we think over the next few years, we'll continue to grow and continue to see people come to our church because good things are happening here. God is at work here. The issue is our church simply isn't structured to hold that many people physically on our campus. We don't have the space. We don't have the space for parking, for example. We don't have the space for our children, for example, or our students. I'm thankful for the worship center we have and how we fill it up each week, but in some of these other areas, we're simply out of space. If you were to go to our children's ministry building on a Sunday morning or on a Wednesday night during Awana, you would see it is maxed out. Or if you were to go to Wednesday night to our student ministry facility, the second floor of our Family Life Center, they have well over 100 people in there on Wednesday nights, and that's a very tight space for 100 people. And so in our children's ministry area and in our student ministry area in particular, we're simply out of space. And we see the need for additional space, not just children's space and student ministry space, but we're soon going to be out of space for our Life Connection groups to meet. Those groups are growing and multiplying. At some point, we're going to need new space for continued Life Connection groups. And think about meeting spaces. We've been using our social hall for years as a meeting space for dinners and other types of events we have on our campus. But it is aging, and honestly, it may not be worth the renovation on that particular building to get it where it needs to be to serve us well on our campus. So about 6 months ago, we brought in a consultant that came in. He was an architect for 30-something years with our Southern Baptist Convention, helping churches like ours to think about next steps in growth. And he spent a few days with us, helping us to think about our facility and what we need to do to expand our campus. We sat down with him and we gathered 30 or 40 people in our church who lead in different areas of ministry, just to kind of think through what the future might look like for us on our physical campus. And we began to develop a plan to move us forward in the years ahead so that we can grow and continue to have people meet on our campus for children's ministry, student ministry, for Life Connection groups. And so this plan we want to pursue as a faith family. Maybe you remember, but a few months ago, we had a town hall meeting on a Sunday evening in our worship center where we showed you some of those plans. We showed you plans to, for example, expand our children's ministry building. The proposed plan we showed on that Sunday night during a town hall meeting was to actually double the space of our current children's ministry facility. We also showed you that night a plan to add a new student ministry building right here next to the Family Life Center. And we also showed you a plan to bring down the current social hall and construct a new one and an additional education space right next to the existing education space. So we're talking about 4 buildings that we need to either construct or expand. Children's ministry building, student ministry building, a new social hall, and a new education space. We also talked about that night just tying our campus together. We would love to be able to come on our campus and add some awnings and things of that nature so that when you come on our campus, you can be dropped off under a covered area and walk to anywhere you need to be on campus without a fear of getting wet in the rain or whatever the case may be, or just to create some outdoor area that's covered so we can gather after a worship service and you can talk to your friends and things of that nature. We want to beautify our campus in a lot of ways, and we talked about that during that town hall meeting. So here we are now, and we need to make a decision as a faith family to move forward with expanding the children's facility, to move forward with a new student ministry building, to move forward with a new social hall and new education space. Now, I told you that night that we met for our town hall meeting that this is something we want to do in phases. We don't know right now, because we're very early in the project, what an entire project like this might cost us. We know that in our current economy, building costs are very high, and we understand that. But we do think we can phase this out, and we think we can right now begin working towards the most immediate needs, and those most immediate needs are expanding our current children's ministry facility and also constructing that new student ministry building. Those are immediate needs that we have, and we want to start that as soon as possible. Our vision is that over the next year, we can break ground and begin building those buildings or expanding that children's ministry building. That is an immediate need. While the social hall and the proposed education space, that can probably wait a little bit. These are exciting times, and we want your help with this. Now, with that said, we do not know the cost again. And the last thing we want to do is to see our church enter into a lot of financial debt. And so it's going to be our proposal that we do whatever we can to keep debt from zero to minimal, if that makes any sense to you. That we want to try, and we'll talk about this in the days ahead as we begin to move forward, we'll try to raise as much money as we can so that we don't have to take out a lengthy loan and put ourselves in a situation where we're trying to pay off a loan for a number of years. We want to avoid that at all costs. And so we'll talk a lot about that in the days ahead. And so we want to be wise stewards of our financial resources, but as we're being wise stewards, we do also want to move forward in faith. And so right now we're at a point, we've met with our leadership as far as that initial team that met with the consultant, our deacons, our buildings and grounds team. We've talked through the process of bringing on an architect, and those who were with me in those meetings agree with me that it's time to move forward. And so we're bringing this to you because we want you to move forward with us, knowing that we don't have all the answers as to length of project, how much it will cost, how we'll do the different phases. We just know that we need to move forward now so that over the next year we can begin to break ground on our most immediate needs. The children's ministry facility and the student ministry facility, looking toward also thinking about that new social hall and that education space as we're able to do it. And so we want you as a church family to affirm that with us. We want you to enter into this with us. Even though we don't have all the answers, what we would like to do is ask you to affirm that this is how we think God is leading us as a faith family to pursue expanding our campus. And so I'm just asking you over the next month to pray about this, to pray about how God might lead us as a faith family to expand our campus. And so please, if you have questions or things that you want us to consider, don't be afraid to reach out to us. But I want you to pray toward October 17th. And on October 17th, I want us to come together as a faith family and say, yes, we affirm that this is the way that God is leading our church to expand our campus so that we can continue to be faithful in our community, to reach our community with the gospel. I'm so excited about what God is doing, and I know that you are too, and you are a huge part of what God is doing in the life of our church. So thank you for your prayers, for your support. Thank you for being involved in the ministry. Keep on serving God faithfully, and I can't wait to see what God has in store for us next. God bless you, and I'll see you soon.